Now, I'm not here to tell you that this like little setup is some Giga Chad busted broken combo, but it is definitely fun and relatively in-game viable. And because it's a little bit out of left field, kind of wanted to cover it real quick. As my buddy was showing me this little Arc Hunter build, and generally when you think of Arc Hunter, you think of, you know, liars, combo blow stacking, dodge roll, punch, punch and roll, punch and roll. However, with this one, it's definitely not that, as we're using Shinobu's Vow and skip grenades because we have so many strong artifact perks back. There's a lot of combinations for just about any setup on any subclass that you would like, and I feel like this is one that gets a lot of benefit from that. So with this being the final update and us getting all the artifacts, we do have access to a fun little setup like this. And even as someone who mainly mains and plays a warlock, playing this setup is definitely very, very fun. Not saying this one is like the best, most optimized for this setup, but just what I found to be relatively strong and comparable, and at least worth playing around with. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the little setup and then do a demonstration on how like you would use it, especially if you do plan on using this at against a close range boss per se, whatever it may be. I got you covered. Also, by the way, if you need spoils, you need someone to do the Morgith checkpoint with, I am doing streams of Morgith checkpoint runs all week. Twitch.tv/KRE. If you do want to get some spoils, come by anytime after 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we should be able to get you some spoils. Let's go ahead and get into the setup. Okay, so here we are, firing range slot portion of the video, describing everything. So this is kind of what I call the LARP setup with the final warning. First things first, we'll talk about the aspects and whatnot. Obviously, you want your skip grenade, Shinobu's Vow. We have flow state, so when we defeat a jolted target, we get amplified. Amplified's obviously really, really good. DR, enemies, you know, miss you when they shoot at you. Really goated. Then we have a Tempest Strike. Low-key, not like the craziest thing. You know, you could totally probably just rock like Ascension if you wanted to as well. But yeah, Tempest Strike while sliding, we activate your charged melee ability to unleash a devastating uppercut, and we jolt the target. And we also, when we defeat jolted targets, we get a stack of Bolt Charge, which is very important. We do love getting stacks of Bolt Charge. You'll see why. Artifact reasons, right? We obviously have Spark Resistance, really good stuff. Spark of Shock, Arc Grenade Jolt. Take that all day for our skip grenade. Spark of Frequency is just really good. You know, get more Bolt Charge. We want to get as much Bolt Charge as possible, right? We also have Spark of Ions. We're going to take that Ionic Trace all day, baby. All day. I just like to run these 4 fragments. Got the Stripper Pole here. And then stats. Like, my stats aren't the best just because, like, my Hunter doesn't have the best raw grenade armor. It's my least played character, so I'm just kind of like making do with what I have. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's comparable. It gets the job done. I like to have a little bit more weapon stat and grenade stat, but for the time being, this will just have to do. Obviously, with a grenade stat build, Shinobu's Vow style, you kind of want to have a bit more grenade than just 155, but you know, we do get up to 195 when we have our fonts up. Now, with that being said, what does Shinobu Vow actually do now? Well, it has this exotic perk of Neutrix. We gain an additional skip grenade charge, huge. Skip grenade damage grants Bolt Charge. Okay, we want as much Bolt Charge as we want, as we can get. And then gaining Bolt Charge grants skip grenade energy. All the more reason why we want more Bolt Charge. When Bolt Charge is ready, we heal nearby allies and enhance our next skip grenade. So essentially, with this exotic on, we just want to be getting as many Bolt Charge stacks as possible and throwing our grenades as much as possible. You'll see why I have on the final warning and the 86. Here we go. So this artifact is kind of what I'm using if you're using like single target damage or what it may have you. It's slightly not the best. I feel like you could probably optimize it a bit better, but this is what's just been working for me. So we have Amped Up. Sustained Fire is for barrier situations, and I put on Kvostov. As with this, we will just get some damage resist when using our really good exotic primary, aka the Kvostov. Yes, I do have the Catalyst. It's so good. It's as good as you think it would be on a weapon like this. Anyways, back to the actual artifact here. We also have improved Unraveling. Okay, you kind of see why the final warning is here. Shadow Orbs, not really that important. Thunderous Retort, we get bonus super damage on our Stripper Pole if cast critically wounded, or more importantly, while amplified, which will basically be almost all the time. Then we also have Conductive Cosmic Needle. Targets affected by strand debuffs take increased damage from Arc and Void abilities. Okay, so we have on this, and then the final warning to actually proc this. Then we have Lightning Strikes twice after throwing an Arc Grenade. Gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows extend the duration of this benefit. If you are in a mobbing scenario, this will be amazing. Also useful in a boss scenario as well, because you'll just be throwing more grenades. That's the artifact. I guess we'll look at the mods Yeah, dude, a lot of fonts, Finder, Scout, basic stuff. You can see why Kvasov is really good in a pinch here. We don't need the Siphon for our Final Warning just because we're not really using it to make orbs whatsoever. We're just using it to make enemies unravel to proc. Conductive Cosmic Needle. Honestly, a bit of a tongue twister, but we keep moving. One take Willie's over here. Firepower, I feel like, goes without saying. And then obviously Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction. These are like honestly staples these days for me. Sometimes Special Finny finds its way, but yeah, boom, that is what we are rocking with there on the mods. So weapons, I feel like doesn't like matter too much in your energy slot. I just have Rocket Pulse here. Honestly, the only thing about Sciaturna, maybe this is better because like on my current setup, I'm getting only 2 of honing. Really not that good. The Blast Distributor though is like really nice. Shoot this at an enemy, then throw the grenade. Literally shooting this at an enemy, then throwing a grenade provides a damage buff to that grenade just by enhancing the stat, which is just really good, right? That's kind of another reason why we have it. The elements, I don't really know too much on like right here, but like I feel like Sciaturna fits really well in a setup like this. Now, why do we have 86? 86 has this. If you guys did any void chunking last season, you'll know that this is really good for throwing grenade, out of energy, heavy swing, get a full grenade back, throw grenade. It basically puts on an infinite loop for this setup if you are using this for bosses. Even for just using this in like major content, right? You can just run around with your 86, throw grenade. If you just need one in a pinch, you heavy swing it at an enemy, you'll get another grenade back and you throw it, okay? But with that being said, let me actually go ahead and throw these grenades so you can kind of see the little loop here, basic stuff. See, Mink. Yeah, they're kind of cooked. Low-key, they're not the craziest, like, there's only so many enemies right here, unfortunately, but, when you're using more of your whole kit, it's actually pretty nice. So we'll go ahead and let me just rally right quick, and I will show you how we can get down, okay? I guess for the sake of the sake, we will do this, and then this is kind of just like a damage like roto example, I guess. Like I'm not saying this is like not like some crazy damage rotation at all. Like the grenades are doing okay, but let's just stop yapping. Throw this, throw this, throw this, do this, step back, and then you're seeing why the 86 is providing its value here, completely getting us up there. Now, obviously, like I said, you're not going to be doing like insane amounts of damage, but in terms of doing infinite damage, like yeah, it's doing that for sure. You're also getting some health back whenever the bolt charge goes off, which helps keeps you alive in a situation like this, especially if you're doing this solo for like a dungeon and you don't have a well. Like this would be good for like maybe like a solo flawless dungeon if you are using Orc Hunter. Like this could actually go pretty ham. Obviously, there's things in the game that are doing like much higher raw damage, but like the neutral play of this is actually pretty good as well. And in under-leveled content, you feel the effects of Amplified a lot. Like it's very strong and nice. And then the Kvasov is just on there for like barriers. This is just like it has intrinsic anti-barrier, which is really good. But like yeah, as I said, like nothing crazy at all, especially what we have going around in the moment. But just as a raw example and just of what it can do and how it would look like, that's kind of an example of why we have on the 86. There's maybe some sort of way where you could like fit Truth on here and still be able to proc maybe Bray Legacy and whatnot to still get. I know what it could be. Maybe you could use the Vogue armor in a scenario like that if all your teammates have Vogue armor. Although that would get you an orb, and you would, I mean, maybe. I'm literally just spitballing on literally just off the top of the dome right there with that line of thinking. But that is kind of just the raw loadout, what we got going, and the whole purpose of the setup with the new Shinobu's Vow changes. And overall, pretty fun. Definitely a bit of LARP with something like this for a setup, but it's definitely fun and competent in a lot of the content. So let me know your thoughts on it. And yeah.